Sahana bhavatu, sahano bhunaktu, saha viryam karvavahai, tejasvinavadhitam maktuma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara, Guru Deva Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guru Deva Sukam Deva, Sarga Deva Samastajana Kalyani. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnam. See, those of you who can write or even better write, just should not be more than 12 sentences. The spirit of Brihadaranyaka. I don't want you to explain Brihadaranyaka. The spirit of Brihadaranyaka. What is the spirit of Brihadaranyaka? The first thing is, what appeals to me in Brihadaranyaka is the large heartedness of Yajnavalkya. He sees everybody in turmoil. He wants to help them. And he knows their turmoil is baseless. And he knows that they are searching for something where the very search denies them what they are searching. Mark this sentence. They are searching for something where the very search denies them what they are searching. Right? So, he cannot also, because everybody has their problems. Today I'm not able to concentrate because as soon as the class started, they told me that all of them are going to get 50,000 rupees a month for teaching, and I am not included in that. Right? So what happens to your class? It's a class. Right? So people have their problems, and you talk Jagan Mithya, what they will do. இருக்கட்டுங்க நான் என்ன பண்றது என் வைஃப் மித்யா இல்லை அது நித்யா அப்படின்றா right so he takes them from where they are. He tells them, right, you want this, do this, you will get that. Do the laukika karmas, you will get laukika results. You do want something better, Vaidika karmas, you will get that. And you want still more Vaidika karmas with contemplation. Do that. He encourages. And then at every step, he doesn't wait till he finishes the theme. Every step he says, Laukika karma you do, but it's miserable. Alaukika karma you do, it's even more miserable. Alaukika karma plus contemplation, right? You become a horse. Yeah. Yes. Or death or hunger. Simple. You just have to know who you are. How to know that, who you are? I have said several things, but I'll make it even easier in the second chapter. I have said everywhere. In the second chapter, I will even make it easier how to know that. You were running after things, gross seen, and things you cannot see, gross, God. Both are dependent on you. The things and the God are dependent on you. You can exist without them. They can't exist without you. You are that who supports this. Right? You are that who supports them. And the same thing in Madhu Vidya. What is inside is what is outside. So inside and outside should stay somewhere on, right? So now he takes another thing. Waking, dream, deep sleep state is the most important topic to explain the presence, the nature, the experience of the self for those who are available on the spot. For those who are available on the spot. Right? Your waking state, 50,000 rupees a month. Your dream state, you get 5 lakhs a month. Your deep sleep state, both have gone. Who remembers them? Because the man who is running after 50,000 a month is not there in the dream. Both of them are not there in the deep sleep. But I remember all the three. Who remembers? That one who witnesses the waking, who witnesses the dream, who witnesses the deep sleep. That is the self, you. It cannot be more simpler than this to show what is self. That which you are aware of your waking world, waking self, the BMI, that which you are aware of your thoughts and the formation of the thoughts in the dream, that which you are aware of your ignorance, which all the three are available in waking. All the three are available in waking. That through which you are aware of your waking, gross world, subtle world, Taijasa, and the ignorance. That which you are aware, that is that. Simple. Somebody who is intelligent can learn it in 1.5 seconds, not even minute. Right? Cannot be simpler than that. So that is the topic to start today. But it's very interesting. First of all, I tell you, even now, I throw a problem to you. You see, we take it for granted. Here itself, there is a problem. You will say, the waking state, I remember, is the ego. Dream also is the ego. Deep sleep is also ego. So ego is there, why consciousness? That ego is called Vijnanamaya Atma, Kshetrajna. It is there, why you bring consciousness? My ego knows all the three. Right? Now, the waking ego is different from the dream ego. Dream ego is different from the deep sleep ego. Therefore, someone who is changing them, who is supporting them should be there. Someone who is changing them, waking to dream, dream to deep sleep, again bring back to waking. Somebody else should be there, not all the three, because Newton said this, things in the state of equilibrium and uniform motion needs a third agency. Right? Things in uniform motion or equilibrium needs a third agency. Right? So therefore, there should be another fourth agency other than the three, waking, dream, and deep sleep. That is who? The consciousness. Number 1 point. Number 2 point. This ego, what you are talking, waking or dream or prajna, waking is called Virat, Vishwa. That's called Taijasa or Hiranyagarbha. This is called prajna or Ishvara. There are some people new, I have to explain them. At the individual level, it's called Vishwa. At the cosmic level, microcosmic, the waking ego is called Vishwa. At the macrocosmic level, the waking ego, that is the ego that functions through all, is called Virat. In the dream state, the individual ego, the microcosmic ego is called Taijasa. The total ego in the dream state, that which runs through all the minds, is called Hiranyagarbha. In the state of ignorance, in the individual state, microcosm is called Prajna. In this state of association, he is not ignorance. Bhagavan is not ignorance. Maya. He conceals himself out of his will consciously. He is called Ishvara. Because that's how he starts. Bhagavan felt, I want to start creation. The very thought he becomes Ishvara. That very thought he becomes Ishvara. Right? And then from Ishvara he becomes Hiranyagarbha. From there to Virat. And then he wanted multiplicity because he's bored and all that. So seeks a wife, right? And seeks several things. And naturally, he goes into all troubles, says, enough. Now I want Brahma Vidya. Now I want Brahma Vidya. This is the fate of Brahmaji. What about you and me? He is intelligent. He immediately knows. We do not know. Right? We think 83 years, lakhs and crores have not saved me. One more 50,000 will save me. Right? That's our condition. Right? Probably when I'm 103 and in the hospital, somebody says they will give you 1 lakh for Gita class. Oh, let me go. Vasanas. Vasanas. So that is Prajna Ishvara. Now, this waking state, when you say, the waking ego means what? All the thoughts, vasanas, along with the consciousness. The thoughts and vasanas themselves are inert. They cannot know to remember. Somebody should have been there to have experienced to remember. Same thing with dream or deep sleep. So even that Virat or the Taijasa or the Prajna, that one who experiences and remembers is this consciousness. In Kshetrajna, Jna makes the Kshetra sentient. Right? So even in that ego, the essential part is this consciousness, and therefore that is the constant thing, and that is the subject, because everything else it knows. Ishvara it knows, Prajna it knows, Taijasa it knows, Hiranyagarbha it knows, Virat it knows, Vishwa it knows, Brahma itself it knows, Brahman itself it knows. Therefore, what knows all is the subject. Even Brahman is my concept. Even Brahman is my concept. Who am I? Where everything is my concept, I am no concept. Where everything is my object, I am no object. I am no concept, I am no object, I am the subject. The seer. How does it help? How does it help? Whatever you see is not you, and you are the reality. Whatever you see is not you, you are the reality. Oh, I have so much of confusion, especially with these Vedanta classes. Right? So much of confusion, especially with the Vedanta classes. Especially when it is linked with money now. Right? Total confusion. Right? Who knows the confusion? That is you. So you don't have to do anything to change. You are confused. Okay. See who is the one who sees the confusion. Confusion is seen by you. Therefore, you are saying, I am confused. So you are different. I am different. Confusion is different. So that confusion you see, and you are the seer. What more you have to do? I am agitated. Okay. Agitation is your object. You are the subject. Right? I am dull. Dullness is your object. You are the subject. Right? I am underdeveloped. Development, underdevelopment, all belong to the changing world. You are the one who sees the changing world. Right? I have several shortcomings. All the shortcomings are your objects. Can there be anything simpler for your getting total security and peace instantly? Nothing can be more simpler than this. But it's difficult for you because your mind is in the 50,000. Right? So this is so simple. Then why did he trouble us 6 chapters in the first kanda? Not first kanda, first chapter. 2 chapters of the first kanda. So the first kanda is called Upadesha kanda. In that, the first chapter was there. In that, 6 brahmanas were there. Right? One brahmana problem, 6 brahmanas is there now. Right? Well, 6 brahmanas were there. And why did you trouble us? That too, what we don't need, Ashwamedha Yagam and this Virat getting fear, he's getting over fear. He wants a company, running after the company. And then he was decent human being. Running after, he didn't get, and then he became this, until he became an ass. I think he stops there. Or a manti.
The feast of creation, we have some.
Right? Why all this? Why all this?
Uncle, Pattadan.
Pattadan. That is why he started the first chapter. She answered, because if this is explained, you cannot understand. It has to be explained from your own standpoint. Right? You have a value for God. So he pictures God, Ashwamedha Yagam. In the Ashwa, imagine everything. Prana, Agni, all these are gods. Right? And then Purusha Suktam. And then the world of objects, Anna. I think did I deal it with last class? No, I will deal it today. Anna, right? All these are things that you want. So he shows you all that, encourages you and says, but this is finite, dependence, misery. Simplest thing is the source of these things, the substratum of these things, that you see. So he has to bring your mind from all that you like to a focus to something what he is going to see. This method is called, not exactly here, but something equal to dharana. Trying to bring the mind from a larger canvas to a point. And he said in all the first chapter, everything is ignorance, including Brahmaji or Vishnu or God, all are ignorance. So all are miserable. So what you do? Ignorance antidote is only knowledge. Ignorance antidote is knowledge. Knowledge of what? Knowledge of the self. So starts the second chapter. Start the second chapter to tell you what the knowledge is. And that I dealt with you with this thing. But before that, the first chapter, the food is there. Anna Brahmana. Right? Yeah, this is why I think all Brahmins call everybody else Anna, Anna, Anna. Right? Anna Brahmana. What is the essence of Anna Brahmana? I'm not going to do the verses. It's not very important, right? What is the essence of Anna Brahmana? This whole world on what you are dependent. You want to get something for your security and happiness. And what you want to get is because you need it. Therefore, you are hungry. And whatever you get is the food, Anna. Don't think you can escape. In the world, nothing goes without price. So the Anna that you get makes you the Anna for it. Makes you the Anna for it. So again, he want to take step by step. So he says 7 types of Annas. One is normal, all of us know. The normal food that we eat. The other 2 are for the rituals. Purnamasa and all that, right? Offered in the rituals, 2 Annas. And the other one is what to give to cattle, milk. The last 3 he kept for himself. The last 3 kept for himself. What are the last 3? Whatever he has kept for himself is the best. That is the seed, the last 3. Maya, Trigunas. Trigunaatmikam sarvamidam. Traigunya Vishaya Veda. Nistraigunya Bhava. That he kept for himself. You know why? Through those 3 triad, you can bring out any amount of Anna. To that triad, you can bring out any amount of anna. That he kept for himself. Who kept for himself? Prana. Who kept for himself? Prana. So they, any three, Bhurbhuva Swaha, Tattva Tamoguna, Adidayvika, Adibhautika, Adhyatmika, which are said here as the sun, the moon, and the prana. Adidayvika, sun, moon, prana. And then speech, mind, and prana. The same thing, different angles. Speech, mind, and prana. Right? All these three he kept for himself. Right? And the Yajnavalkya says, these are also finite. These are also finite. Seek the Brahman. Right? Seek the Brahman. Right? And he said in the earlier chapter, in the 4th, 17, I think, he said about the best you can get is the rituals. There again, he said it consists of 5 things, panktam. Right? The husband, the wife, the child, and the lokas, and the lokas and the vivitta, wealth. All this is panktam, finite, right? So the 5th, he also ends to make you realize all this food, including the food kept by gods, including the food kept by God. God himself became that food. You know why? You know why? Tridha, he divided himself into 3. What are those 3? Adidayvika, Adibhautika, Adhyatmika. So he himself becomes the 3, and those 3 are also food. He himself becomes the food. Right? And you want to become that God? Yes. No, that God won't get 50,000. Right? So this is Brihadaranyaka. People who have no patience run through it and brush aside. It is all Vipasanas. It's difficult. Nobody has explained all the concepts simpler than what is explained in Brihadaranyaka. You did not take 10 minutes more to see what is said there. If you have not brushed this aside, if you had faith, Shraddha, there must be something in this. If you had gone through that, you would have got the answers. And that is why maximum quoted anywhere by anybody, including Sri Shankara, is Brihadaranyaka only. Quotations. Quotations. And then the last 6th, again he concludes in a simpler way. This world is nothing but name, form, and action. All are finite. Name, form, action. All are finite. All belong to ignorance. Death, hunger, seek immortality, seek bliss, seek infinite. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. Right? Seek the infinite. Seek the bliss. And so, 2nd chapter. It starts with a story. See the technique of our people. See, when we say our people take pride at everything and go on forwarding in the WhatsApp, we should have a little consciousness. Conscious. I'm going on forwarding everything. India glory, Bharat glory, cultural glory. Am I doing something to that? Am I trying to take something from there? Am I trying to imbibe that? No, just forward. Right? Just forward. When you go on forwarding so many things about your culture, say, take pride, you should contribute to something or you should imbibe something from that. Only forward. Maximum forward community is in WhatsApp. You are backward. Right? So our culture is really great. See, the highest and subtlest discussions of the Upanishads, and there again, very abstract in Brihadaranyaka, he mixes with a story. That shows their intelligence. With a story. Keno started with a story. Katha started with a story. Prasna started with a story. Right? What is the story here? What is the story here? The story here is Gargya was one of the learned people. Probably you can call him a rishi. Doesn't matter. He goes to Ajatashatru, a king, and says, I want to teach you Brahman. Why does he go and say, I want to teach you? Because when you teach Brahman in those days, it's not 50,000 rupees. It is, they will get even the whole kingdom. Right? And the Brahmins always wanted the funds. So he went there. I will teach you Brahman. Ajatashatru got excited. Oh, my luck today. Everybody says Janaka, Janaka, Janaka. Janaka invites people, all the intelligent people go there, and Janaka gives so much. And today I got somebody. My luck. Right? Ajatashatru is excited. And now he asks him to explain. Right? I'm not going to the slokas till I come to the deep sleep. Right? Then I wake up. Right? So, and I am not going in the sequence also. I will give this spirit, you see the sequence, right? You study at home. So, he says, what is Brahman? He says, that which is in the sun. Ajatashatru says, that I know even better than you. That I know better than you. Some 4 terms he uses permanently. That alone I will see. Okay. So he says, that I know he is resplendent. He only said sun, the Purusha in the sun. He said, I know more than that. Ajatashatru says more than that. He has several beautiful things about him. He is resplendent. He is the energy. All that he says. And then he says, okay, the one in the moon. Says, that also I know. That also I know. Right? Emma? White? Huh? Lightning. No. After sun? After sun must be moon. Please don't, I mean, all surpassing, that is the highest, Adi Daivika. And head of all beings, resplendent, that is sun. Then next comes to the moon, right? He says, the one in the moon, that's all he says. This, all our class people will say. What is conditioned Brahman? What is unconditioned Brahman? Conditioned Brahman is with the Upadi, the one in the sun, the one in the moon. All our people will give lectures, right? Ajatashesh says, that's all. I know even little more than that. And so, sun, I said, now moon, he says, white robed, because he's white in color, white robed, radiant. Soma. Soma is the not merely drink, not merely the juice, is the, the very one because of the plants grow. The Soma plant also grows. And similarly, he says, okay, the one in the lightning, says it, don't talk about him. I meditate upon him as the powerful. Because in a flash, it can go everywhere. See? Powerful. Right? Right? And the Palasruti also, one who knows this will become that. One who knows sun, as I am talking, will become sun. One who knows moon will become moon. One who becomes lightning will become lightning. So he goes on like that. Right? And then finally, எல்லாம் விட்டுடுங்க. Then it talks about Hiranyagarbha, right? Hiranyagarbha, he says that also I know. Then he comes to the end. Ajat Shatru says, is this all you know? He says, yes. Then this is all conditioned Brahman. In fact, what you know is only label. Even that you don't know in detail. Even that you don't know in detail. You only know the label. Right? I know little more than that. Then Gargya says, then please teach me, I will become your disciple. I will become your disciple. So here, when he says, I will become your disciple, shows the attitude with which you approach a teacher. The humility to accept. Number one, the humility to accept. Right? And then two points I thought about. Then the Vedas, especially Bhagavatam, if you go, the caste system is interchangeable according to their qualities and profession. Bhagavatam very clearly, he says, when somebody, Sudra, achieves heights, he says, Brahmanatam gataha, Shudratam gataha. Brahmanatam gataha, Shudratam gataha. By the character and this thing, he says he became a Sudra. The other one becomes a Brahmana. So the caste system is exactly what was said in the 4th chapter Gita. People try to interpret it. There is no need to interpret it. It's simple. It is simple. Guna karma vibhaga yoho. What is the guna karma? 18th chapter. Clearly says. 18th chapter, what are the gunas? Says. I asked Gurudev because one of the acharyas was telling, it is true, guna karma only, but according to that guna only, they are born in that family. It is true, guna karma, according to that only they are I told Gurudev when I was driving home for Bhiksha, he simply said, he has got his own way of telling. Then all Gandhiji's son must be the same. All Gandhi's sons must be same. They were not. Each is different. So it can never be by birth. Can never be by birth. So here, now, the Brahmana approaches the Kshatriya. Kshatriya feels little diffident. It's not done earlier like this. You are a Brahmana, how can I teach you? But anyway, there is one more rule. Any student comes to you, you should not refuse Brahma Vidya. If you refuse Brahma Vidya, you will become a Brahma Rakshasa. Brahma Rakshasa is that. One who doesn't share his knowledge of Brahman with others is a Brahma Rakshasa.
Mobile,
Mobile. Oh,
lighting.
okay. Right. Lighting. Narayana. So, this now interchange positions, Guru, Shishya, Shishya, Guru. There are several instances like this. Because recently there was one problem somewhere, and there was a debate, I don't know where, media and all that. There's several instances. Ramanuja, his teacher, Kanjipuram, what was his name? Teacher. He was the
Yadava Prakasha.
No. In Kanjipuram, he had a
Yadava
teacher.
Prakasha.
And once the argument was Kapyasanam and Bhashya. Yamunacharya later. This is not Yamunacharya. Yadava Prakashanam. Yadava Prakashanam. Right? Ama, Mama geta patinga. Right? Yadava Prakashananda. Kapyasanam was argument. Yadava Prakashananda said, it's like the bottom of the monkey rose. He said, no, sir, it's not like that. Ka, P means lotus. Ka means water. P means drinks. P means drinks. That which drinks water is lotus. The asana is like lotus, not the bottom of the monkey. Right? So he got insulted, humiliated, right? Like I get several times in my these things, right? He gets insulted, he gets humiliated. And then he says, I can't now be a teacher. This fellow will outbeat me and prove me. So he would try to kill him also when he went on some trip. Right? And he survived. After that, the Yadav Prakashananda said, I will become your disciple. He became his disciple. Then Sureshwaracharya became a disciple. Like that, there are many instances. I have plenty where I have several teachers now. Right? Right?
Good answer. Good answer.
Right? So here the student becomes the teacher, teacher becomes the student. What does all that mean? The whole thing, why am I taking? There is no rigidity about labels. There is no rigidity about labels. Neither formalities. Be honest to yourself. Be simple and honest. You do not know? Say, I do not. Please teach me. Adihi Brahman Bhagavo. Chandogya also this comes. Chandogya also this comes. Gautama goes with his, because for his son, some king taught him something. And the son comes to the father and says, you never taught me this. I don't know. Let us both go and ask the king. Again, same problem. He says, how can I teach? No, I want to know that. So the students become
Teacher.
teacher. Teacher becomes the students. Chandogya also it comes.
Bhagwan student.
Yare?
Lord Shiva becomes student to Muruga.
Mama, Appa.
Appa becomes
Appa.
student.
Lord Shiva becomes student to Muruga. Right? So he becomes, and then he start teaching. How does he start teaching? Another Kuttikada. Another Kuttikada. He takes him by hand and goes to a sleeping man and calls, because all these names earlier were given by Gargya to prana, and he says prana is the subject, prana is the consciousness, that is the Brahman. So he calls them with these names, Ajatashastru. Oh, white-robed one, white resplendent one, this, that, and all that. He calls. He doesn't respond. He touched, he didn't respond. Kulukanari. He got up. He got up. What is there? Because if prana is the subject, he can know himself. With these names, he should respond, because they are his names. And he says he never sleeps. He said he never sleeps. He is connected with all the organs, right? So even moon name, when he used white robe, because he is connected with that, he should know. Not only his names he didn't respond, connected with the devas, that also he didn't know. Right? So the prana cannot be the subject or the ultimate. Body cannot be, because the moment they were stood before it, the body should have got up. Body cannot be. Body cannot be. Prana cannot be. Sense organs cannot be, because sense organs, eyes could not see, ears could not hear, because they all collectively went into prana and all of them merged in consciousness. Right? So what was there at that time? Everything became self. Everything became self. Self alone was there. In deep sleep, somebody put an objection to what I said in that this thing, Ramesh. Deep sleep is ignorance and not knowing problem. That cannot be high stage. No. In deep sleep, what is there is total consciousness. Everything becomes the consciousness. It cannot know, because the instruments of responding and knowing are not there. Electricity is there everywhere, but without a bulb, you can't have a light. Right? So instruments should be there. Instruments are not there. The one who knows the Vijnana Atma also is not there. Right? Therefore, nothing worked, only consciousness was there. Now he himself raises a question. When this man was asleep, where did all these devas, sense organs, all went? Where from there came back? They all went into the consciousness, became the consciousness, they came back from him. Right? And this is why the definition of Brahman in Taittiriya, Yatova yamani bhutani jayanti, yena jatani jivanti, yat prayanti abhivishanti. Tad Brahma. Right? So Brahma is satisfied because all of them went into consciousness, came back from consciousness, stayed in consciousness. Right? Purirda. Right? Stayed in consciousness. Right? So that is the consciousness, that is the subject, that is the ultimate, that alone is there, everything fuses into it. So, up to now, the discussion on the first chapter was ignorance. Then the bridge. Gargya said the conditioned Brahman. Ajatashatru showed the unconditioned Brahman in sleep. How did he show? Because only when they get connected with that, he knew. So that was that which invigorates, enlivens everything else. That consciousness. Right? If that was absent, even shaking will not help. That was there. Everything merged in that. Now there is a doubt. Now there is a doubt. That doubt is not mentioned, is mentioned, but not clearly in the books. Right? What is the doubt? Like even Vijnanam Atma, I only raised and answered. Here also, if they merged in this thing, if they merged again, how they can come back? It is a homogeneous consciousness. If they become consciousness, how they come back exactly like that after getting up? When I went to sleep, I was an idiot. After I got up, same idiot.
Correct.
Right? Nothing changed. How? If everything merged. This is the thing in even the Naimittika Pralaya. In Naimittika Pralaya, everything with their details merge in Brahman. And then again Kalpa, they come back. How? Merge and become total comeback. He is Mayavi. Everything is in him. He knows everything. So he knows what all went to him in what form, because himself, and brings back them exactly like that. Why does he do? Leela. Leela. How do you say Leela? First of all, how do you say it is he that brings, he, it is he that pushes? Keneshitam patati preshitam manaha. Kena prana prathama praiti yuktaha. Keneshitam vachamimam vadanti. By whose will the mind goes to its object. All the senses go. By whose will? That means he is the one who pushes. And then what is this creation? How do you say it's all is Leela? Kalpayati atmana atmanam mandukya. Tave buddhyate bhedan. He imagines himself and he alone creates these differences. Right? He alone does all that. Why does he do sadist? So much of suffering? You were saying suffering because of your time frame. In the dream state, somebody is suffering for 30 years and you got up, it was split second. Do you inquire seriously, why did God create this dream? I suffered so much. You only created. That time frame is different. Revata went to Brahmaloka seeking a bridegroom for his daughter. At that time, Urvasi or Ramba was dancing. So Brahma just waited. After the dance is finished, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, Revata went, I want a daughter for my son-in-law for my daughter. Brahma laughed. You came 6 minutes back. In the world, 60,000 years have gone. All yugas have gone. Right? Anyway, there is one man suitable. Balaramji, go and give it to him. Revati, Balaram. You understand? So that story, Revata, should tell you about the time scale. If 60,000 years of us is 6 minutes to Brahmaji, Brahmaji's 6 minutes has no locus standi at all to mention in Brahman's time. You understand what I'm saying? So therefore, it's no time at all. And therefore, he for him, Leela, just like child, constructing a sand house, demolishing. Constructing again, demolishing it. You and I talk because of our time frame. You understand? It's Leela for him. And what? All of them are in Maya. Maya is inseparable part of him. So therefore, they merge in Maya, and Maya is inseparable, this thing from him. And when he wants to throw them back, he brings out his aspect of Maya, through them Trigunas, and then the creation. Okay. I think I've finished, but let me see. Something is, I'm not confused. Yeah. There are two more reasons why prana, which Gargya said, cannot be the subject, cannot be the ultimate, because prana is constituted of several limbs, like the organs, sense organs, organs of action, right? Several parts, prana is constituted. That which is an assemblage of several things together is always meant for somebody else, the house. The house, the walls, the doors, the fan, the light, not for themselves. It's an assemblage. It's for somebody who, after some time, says, I want a pudu periya vidu, and they will shift. Right? Right? Okay. So wherever there is an assemblage, it cannot be the subject, master. There is another master. Prana is an assemblage. Therefore, it's not a master, number one. Number two, consciousness doesn't need prana. Prana cannot be without consciousness. Na pranena, na apanena, matyaha jivati kaschana. Itarena tu jivati yasmin yetau upashritau, on which these two are dependent, prana and apana. Right? So therefore, consciousness doesn't need prana. Prana needs consciousness. Therefore, it cannot be the master. So who is the master? Master of masters is consciousness. Who is consciousness? Self. Who is self? You. And running after everything, 50,000 rupees, beggar. Why? Because you do not know yourself. Right? And therefore, the knowledge. Therefore, the second chapter. And now he said here, this has parts. To explain the parts, the next thing, calf. Calf has a this thing, pole, thread, several parts it has. Right? Similarly, this has several parts, but calf is tied down, led by somebody master. So is the prana. So the calf example he give only to make us understand it has parts. That is the next chapter, prana. Then the next comes Murtam Amurtam. We'll see that next week, inshallah. 7:59. Great. So next week, very, very, very important topic. Murtam, Amurtam, and Atmanastu Kamaya, the famous brother. Everybody talks only this. If you go to YouTube or iTube, they only talk Atmanastu Kamaya. That will be next week. Murtam Amurtam will be next week. And if possible, finish Madhu Vidya also next week. And then 2 weeks after that, just say what the other chapters say and finish it off and give you all freedom. Om Purnamada Purnamadam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om Narayana. Thank you all. God bless you all.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, Uncle. Thank you.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, uncle.